Hello, my name is Fox.worth. 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 Hello, my name is Fox.worth.
Good morning, America. My name is Lee Fahimi. We got a couple questions for you. Let's see, living in this modern time, we like to rely on crime.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Fox.worth Show. Hey, y'all. Those of you who don't know me, what's up? My name is Fox. Hey, I'm here to give you laughter. I'm here to give you joy, inspiration, all that good stuff. Give me a subscribe or a like at the bottom. You know what to do. Those of you who I've already seen before, hey, friend. Hey again. So, as you can tell by the title, this is my journey to acting. And I don't know if this is necessarily a unique story. I mean, let me not do that. Everybody's story is unique and different. So in a way, I believe it is. Oh, if you can see, speaking of my journey of acting, look at this. I got on my WMU shirt. Yes, I did not go to College of Aviation, but guess what? The sweater was free. And I don't say no to free. Well, I say no to some things, but this was free, so I didn't say no. Anyway, my journey to acting. Well, it's gonna have to start when I was 7 years old. That's when I started to write. I've always been a writer before an actor. When I was around like 7, 8 years old, my mom and my dad bought this big Dell computer, and I would always get on it and play pinball, but also write on Microsoft Word. And I just had so many stories in my head, and I just wanted to write them down. So I would write down these stories, and when I type these stories. And a couple years after that, I found out that, I was giving each character in these stories lines. And I was like, wow, I was writing script. So, as kids, there's a whole bunch of kids that are bullied. And I was one of those kids. I was bullied because of my dark features and my dark skin. And I had this thing where I didn't want to act. I didn't see a lot of, attractive, or people who looked like me who were considered attractive. All those dark-skinned people on TV were seen as the abusers or the bad guys or the exotics or whatever that means. And I was like, well, okay, maybe that's not for me. And then, now that's changed. We got Mahershala Ali, we got Lupita, we got Viola, so many now, and I'm so blessed for that. But when I was younger, I didn't really see a whole lot of that. So I had always had this thing where I said I didn't want to be an actor because actors are pretty. I promise. Like that was literally my thing. I said actors are pretty. I'm not, so I'm gonna just stay in the back. I can write, I can do all that, and I made my way doing that. I even before I acted, I played football. My dad and my mom wanted me to play football, just like so many parents. It in a way, football does teach you sportsmanship. It taught me many things about being a man, and when we would, or just a good person. When we would lose or win, we would still shake the other team's hand and say good game. And I think that's such a beautiful thing to do. And there's so many other things I learned, but I didn't want to play football. For me personally, not going for anybody out there who plays football. I always thought of football as this thing that was used for me to get out my anger. And I was like, well, why can't I just get out my anger, get out these emotions by acting? I mean, I can just do that. And so I told my nana, my grandmother, and my godmother, I said I want to act. And my parents weren't so happy about that, but thank God I had my nana and my godmother who was willing to fight for me. And they told them, and my parents was like, all right, well, we'll see. And I was so grateful that they listened. I mean, it was hard, but and they just said, we'll see. So in high school, my first 2 years, I was not really talking to nobody. I would, during lunchtime, I wouldn't eat in the cafeteria. I would go up to the library and I would just write and type. And before my junior year, so my sophomore year, at the end of that year, I went to I went to our high school director at Cass Technical High School, MC. Hey, MC. And those of you who don't know, she retired from Cass Tech, but she's still pretty much like working and working with people down no, not down, over in Detroit. But she is such an amazing woman. She led so many of the drama department students in Cass Tech. So I remember I saw their production of The Color Purple, and it was such an amazing production. I was like, how are our high school students able to do this great of work? Like, that's crazy. But I met her and I said, hey, I want to write and I want to direct. And she said, well, have you ever tried acting? And I was like, she was like, you should try. You should try to audition and we'll go from there. And I was like, well, okay. So I auditioned in the fall, and I ended up getting into their fall play and their spring musical, which I was like, oh my gosh, all right, here we go, we'll see, and it just goes to show you when somebody or somebody's has puts love and sees a child or a person and just puts faith in them and puts I believe that you can do this and I would like to see you do it. Just to say that to somebody matters so much. And it just mattered a lot that my nana and my godmother and MC saw me, were like, yeah, go for that. Do that thing. You are able to. I mean, I think there are so many people who just haven't been told you are able to be this great. You are able to do this thing. So I auditioned, got in, told my mom and my dad, and they weren't the happiest, because it was just coming off the train of of football, and they told me, you got to get your grades up. You can do it as long as your grades are up. And I was like, okay, I got you. And my grades weren't horrible, but they definitely were not great. And when I tell you my grades skyrocketed, I mean, ask your kids, what are they passionate about? Ask them. And allow them to move into that thing. If it's available in the community or not, find it. Because as soon as I was passionate about something and I had something to work for that I loved, I mean, everything just raised. I was on an honor roll until I graduated, which is just a beautiful thing. And when I walked in to the black box theater that we would hang out at a lot, I remember meeting everybody and I felt this overwhelming thing of I fit in. I finally fit into a place. I mean, everybody was singing show tunes or just acting crazy or acting weird, which is what I was. And I said, this is crazy. I didn't know that, one, that you people existed, and two, that that I could fit in here. And it was just such a beautiful thing to have. And then after that, I auditioned for Western Michigan University. I got into there, studied a lot, found out a whole lot more about acting. I mean, oh my goodness. You always think that you know a thing or a person or an idea or situation until you spend more time with it. And y'all, I knew some, didn't. And Western just taught me to just dig deeper. I remember one of our professors who actually went to UCI, Kate Thompson, she said to me, when you think of goals and getting to a place, don't think of it in this sense of a linear sense. Think of it as going deeper. There is nobody ever is just, all right, I know acting or I know life or I know this thing and that's it. There's always something to learn. And I believe art imitates life in the way that with acting, humanity, with life, there is always something to learn. You never have a grasp of it and that's it. You're always finding out more because you're living more. And with acting, it just gets deeper and deeper and deeper for me, even in grad school now. I mean, like, one day I'm going to write a book on acting, and I'm going to call it There's Levels to This Ish, because there's so many things. I mean, people think, oh, acting, let me just go ahead and grab this script, memorize these lines, and go on stage. No. And those of you who are actors or who are trained actors are very, very passionate actors. You know what I mean? There is no just memorizing your lines. You got to know what they mean. You got to know what your character wants. You got to know why your character is doing the things that they're doing. You got to know the history. You got to know how to move into your character, and know their physicality, their mental, their psychological, their emotional. I mean, it's a lot. Acting is hard. Acting, to me, is like the hardest job on this planet, because nobody else has to bring their life to work. You know, doctors, you can leave the life at the door, put on the gloves, go do your thing. Cops, you can leave the life at home, go on, put on your uniform and go do your thing. Actors, artists, we must bring it, because whatever you're feeling that day, your character is going to be feeling. I mean, it's just inevitable. So, and now I'm starting to pay that more attention, you know, due to the coronavirus. And speaking of the coronavirus again, those of you out there who had a lot to say about art, about artists, and about, you know, acting and music and whatever quarrels you got against artists, I want you to know and remember, when this blows over, because it will blow over, when times were tough and when times were rough, you went to acting, you went to music, you went to art. You listened to that album that made you feel good. You watched that movie that made you laugh or that made you cry. You watched or listened or observed that thing, that art, that form that made you feel alive again, that made you feel good, that made you feel less alone. So when this all blows over, go see some plays, go see some concerts, go on and donate to some organizations, because and that's the thing, theater has always been a saving grace in terms of just art in general. Has always been. All the things that's happened to us in this past life, art was always there for people to be like, oh, let me go back to that. Let me go have a laugh. Let me go have a cry. Let me go think. Let me listen to something to make me forget about what's going on right now. Just remember, art was there when times were tough and rough. Art is what you went to. But anyway, I thank y'all so much for watching this video. Please let me know what other content you want to see, what other questions you may have. And I'll see y'all next time. Until then, Black Boy Joy out. Get it, Malik.
Carry load, I'm the caddy. Son of my daddy, who's son of a rolling stone. The cycle keep rolling on. When I get some of my own, I'ma sum up the whole. Erase the stigma of race, give them space and raise on. Me and my brother, different circumstantial upbringing, and a decade of distance. Can't slouch on my little nigga. Complexes can fester. I need me on a desk, get intelligent from the islands. Relieve my mind of the pressure. Thinking about my kinfolk who suffer from depression, but won't ever admit it, cause we be keeping it, nigga. I just keep it inside. Swallow the red pill, still fail to swallow his pride. God gave him a will, his will was less fortunate. Aloe vera, I'll attempt to heal. Black boy lost, you better tell.